Hey everyone, this is Chris with Narrows Media, and today I wanted to talk about my preferred method of implementing responsive design. For those of you who don't know, responsive design is a way of shifting content based on browser width. It's pretty important because a lot of people browse the web using mobile devices nowadays, like smartphones or tablets. First things first, there are a lot of different ways to do this. I just choose this method because it's pretty simple to get started with. So as you can see, I have a basic web page here. I got a div with an ID of box and then some content in it, and then a linked style sheet. In the style sheet, I set the box's background to red and the width to 800, and I centered it using the margins and added a line height for the text. If you take a look at the site, it's not too spectacular, but as we scale down, you will notice that the content gets cut off, which is what we need to fix. So the quickest way we can fix that is to add the @media query with a parameter of max width set to 799 pixels. The reason I chose 799 is because the box is 800 pixels, so we want this to kick in right when the browser gets too small for the box. So what this is doing is once the browser is 799 pixels or less, the CSS within these two curly braces will start. So if we call up the box again and change some of the CSS that we set already, like set the background to green, maybe set the width to 90% and the margin to 5%. If we check the page now, you'll notice that nothing really changed, but as we scale down, once we hit that 799 pixel mark, the background color changes to green, the width is 90%, and the 5% margin all the way around. So the cool thing about this is that we can use as many of these as we want to specify different widths for different devices. So if we wanted to come in and change at 500 pixels, we could set the box's background again to a different color, like a blue or something, and it will not take into effect until we get down to that 500 pixel mark. So that's kind of cool. The one thing you want to pay attention to is the line height here. Since I set it to 1.5 em, it still inherits that all the way down the style sheet until we change it. So if we specify here that we want a line height of 2 em, this once the browser is 799 pixels or less, including this 500 pixels, it'll be 2 em. So you can see it's 1.5, and then now it's 2, and it's still 2. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I like to take this a step further and keep all of my @media queries in a separate style sheet, and even further than that, use the media attribute here to specify using the AND operator the minimum width set to 800 pixels for this, which basically once the browser is 800 pixels or less than 800 pixels, it will disregard this style sheet. So then I'll have a second style sheet linked in here that has all of my mobile stuff. So that way I won't get hung up on anything like this line height issue. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them below or check out the blog post at blog.narrowsmedia.com. Also, check us out on Facebook or Twitter, and thank you for watching.